We begin this Friday in Thailand, where a teenager has killed at least 5 people and injured dozens more at a school outside of Bangkok. The 14-year-old then turned the gun on himself and later died. Police say that the killing spree began earlier when the teen shot and killed his grandparents at home with his grandfather's gun. Thailand has one of the highest rates of private gun ownership in the world and has witnessed several mass shootings in recent years.
The immediate danger might be over, but survivors of the shooting at the Debsari Nonthaburi school near Bangkok will need time to process their trauma. Many of the teenage students and teachers are still in shock after Thailand's worst mass shooting in years. Eyewitness video posted online showed students taking cover under their desks with the sound of gunshots in the background. Police have identified the suspect as a 14-year-old student and said a total of 7 people were killed, 5 staff members at the school and the gunman's own grandparents, who were shot dead earlier in their home. Investigators said the shooter fired at least 26 bullets using a gun that belonged to his grandfather. An additional 34 rounds were found at the scene. Thailand's Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul visited the school after the attack. He told reporters that the young suspect appeared to have planned the mass shooting and that he had shown signs of stress related to school.
It is a violence, but it is not caused by criminals. It is caused by an individual who had carried lots of pressures and tensions. So he is not a street criminal. He is not a robbery. He is not a robber. So this really has nothing to do with security measures in the school.
Police at the suspect's home, which he had shared with his grandparents, have been collecting evidence, including computers and electronic devices. As the investigation continues, government officials have promised psychological support for survivors of the shooting. The school where the attacks took place has announced it will be closed next week.
Well, journalist Mike Firn is outside that school for us. Mike, good to have you with us. What have you seen today, and what are you seeing now there in front of the school?
Well, it's just past midnight, but police cars are still leaving the building. The gates were shut at around 8:30. A lot of police vehicles going in, taking investigators in. They were going through the classrooms, combing them for evidence, trying to find out a motive, why this 14-year-old went on a gun rampage. They did recover his mobile phone at the scene, and they were checking that for texts and calls. Now, this is a very prestigious chain of schools, about 3,000 pupils at this branch in Nonthaburi. But this is a school that's educated kings, it's educated prime ministers, cabinet members, senior members of the military, famous Thai athletes. A very high-pressure school. It was a boys' school, it's now a mixed school, but obviously the pressure on them, as the Prime Minister said when he visited the school today, had obviously taken its toll on this boy and maybe motivated him into carrying out this spree of killings.
Do we have any clear indication on a motive tonight?
Well, as your report said, the police visited the house where he was living with his grandparents. His parents had separated and he was with his grandparents from then on. They found a computer, and on that computer they discovered he'd been playing very violent role-playing games. He'd been researching US school shootings. He'd been looking into how to use a handgun, and he took his father's handgun and reportedly shot his grandparents before coming to the school, armed with the gun and several spare rounds of ammunition. As the Prime Minister said, you know, the stress at the school, it is a crammer school, could have paid its toll on him. But staff at the school said he was very quiet. His parents backed that up. They said he was a quiet boy, stayed at home, playing computer games. He didn't go out, he didn't mix much, he wasn't very sociable.
What are investigators saying so far about the fact that he apparently had access to his grandfather's gun?
Well, all they know is that his grandfather was a bank manager, but he was a registered gun holder. He had a license to hold the gun, and somehow the grandson had got access to that. He'd been planning this for several days, it seems, judging by what was in his computer and the contents of his mobile phone. And so he'd managed to get access to it and carried out the killing of his parents before coming to the school and opening fire on teachers.
Mike, what do we know now about how this attack unfolded inside the school?
It started around 9:30 this morning. He came into the school armed, and he went from classroom to classroom, targeting teachers. Now, you've seen the videos. The teachers corralled the pupils, some of them hiding under desks while the shooting happened, but then they got them out into safety. A lot of the parents came down to the school. Earlier on, there were very emotional scenes as parents were reunited with their sons and daughters. But I have to say that there were dozens of pupils injured, some of them in the shooting, some of them in the rush to get out of the building. Now, a lot of them are in hospital, some of them in critical condition. There has been an appeal for blood donations for A and O type blood to help with transfusions for those critically injured in the shooting.
You say that the shooter had been using the internet, studying mass school shootings in the United States. When people hear about school shootings, they tend to think of the U.S. They don't tend to think of Thailand. But Thailand has unfortunately, a long list of mass shootings, doesn't it?
It does. In February this year, a pupil at a school in southern Japan, in Hatyai district, went into a school armed, and he shot and killed the school principal. A few years earlier, we had a terrible shooting incident at a nursery school, at a kindergarten, where a shooter killed dozens of the pupils there. Also, we had a case a couple of years back of a 14-year-old boy at a very prestigious private school in Bangkok. He went into the Siam Paragon shopping mall. He had a starting pistol, which had been modified to shoot live rounds, and he killed 4 people before police captured him.
Journalist Mike Firn in Nonthaburi outside of Bangkok. Mike, thank you.
Pravit Rojanaphruk is a journalist, senior staff writer and columnist with the online news site Khawsod English. He joins us from the Thai capital. Welcome to DW. Tell us more about the school where this happened.
Well, it's a fairly well-known school. The original school, the Debsarin school, is a very well-known school. But the one which the tragic incident took place is a campus of the original school. So, you know, if you have a very famous school in Thailand, particularly in Bangkok, the trend is that you open a campus in the other cities, and this is just outside Bangkok. So it's a solid middle-class school in Thailand.
And what is known of the person who is believed to have done this?
We still have very sketchy details. As much as we know as of now, the 14-year-old gun shooter is an introvert, as much as we know. He plays a lot of online games, and unconfirmed news that we have received from some of the interviews that were allegedly made with some of the classmates was that the boy, the shooter, had made complaints or lamented about school pressure, academic pressures on him from both the school and the grandparents, who were the de facto guardians, because he had lived with the grandparents whom he also shot and killed earlier today.
And this is not the first gun rampage Thailand has seen in recent years.
Indeed, but at a school as it is, involving a student, I believe this is the first in many years, if not really the first. There were other incidents, but it involved shooters elsewhere, or if it happened at a school or a kindergarten, it was committed by an adult. So this is a minor gun shooter who killed his own teachers, his own grandparents, and fellow students before committing suicide by shooting himself. So in this case, it's technically it is actually a first.
I see. Now, reports say that the young man involved stole his grandfather's gun, used his grandfather's gun. Thailand has quite high levels of gun ownership. I saw a figure saying something like the equivalent of 1 in 7 of the population owns a firearm. Right. Why are guns so popular in the country?
It's a very intriguing question, because I would frankly tell you that I think majority of the Thai people are not aware about that statistics. This is not a generally trigger-happy sort of Wild West. You rarely see civilians carrying gun. Almost, I haven't seen one, any civilian. I mean, I live in Bangkok. I haven't seen any civilians carrying gun over the past, I would say, easily 2 decades. So the stats that supposedly 1 out of every 7, a gun is on, every 7 Thais. Yeah, 1 in 7 owns a gun is actually not a common awareness amongst Thais at all. And of course, this will be discussed in the days and weeks to come as to what should be done about it. It's not really common at all to see a sign that you should enter a certain premises without weapon. It's very rare, actually.
OK, so lots of people have them, but they don't carry them around. Yet I'm aware that the government has promised in the past to tighten gun laws. Has that happened?
Nope. And actually, this has never really been a national debate, unlike in the United States or some countries with recurring mass shootings or school shootings. But perhaps it's about time for Thai society to discuss the issue and try to really rectify the loophole. So one of that is, how do we further restrict gun ownerships, controls, and the carrying of firearms?
Thanks for joining us, Pravit. Pravit Rojanaphruk from Khao Sod online English online news. Thank you.